In the brutal, sun-scorched expanse of the African Savannah, evolution usually follows a predictable blueprint. Predators are either built for the sprint, like the cheetah, or for the crushing ambush, like the lion. But amidst the golden grass of the Veldt, there walks a creature that defies every traditional law of raptor biology. It stands 4 feet tall, possessing the long, elegant legs of a crane and the razor-sharp, hooked beak of an eagle. This is a secretary bird, an evolutionary glitch that traded the safety of the sky for the tactical dominance of the ground. While most birds of prey hunt from the clouds, this creature is a terrestrial raptor, a biological hybrid engineered for one specific purpose: the systematic execution of the most dangerous reptiles on the planet. The secretary bird is a relic of an ancient lineage, a solitary survivor of a family of birds that decided, millions of years ago, that the Earth offered more tactical advantages in the air. Its name is a deception, a relic of 18th century observations of its quill-like head feathers, but its reality is far more sinister. It is a stalking assassin. It covers up to 20 miles a day on foot, moving with a rhythmic, mechanical gait that allows it to skin the grass for the slightest vibration of a hidden enemy. It doesn't circle overhead like a vulture. It patrols its territory like a sentinel, utilizing a pair of legs that are essentially 2 high-velocity, armored pistons. These legs are the bird's primary weapons, and they are masterpieces of natural engineering. The lower half of its legs are covered in thick, protective scales that act as natural greaves, a form of biological armor designed to withstand the lightning-fast strikes of venomous snakes. The secretary bird doesn't fear the cobra or the viper. It hunts them. It treats the world's most lethal serpents as nothing more than calorie-dense targets. This is a raptor that has moved its kill zone from the talons of the sky to the force of a kick. It is a martial artist of the animal kingdom, utilizing physics and timing to deliver blows that defy the limitations of avian strength. But the physical build is only half the story. To understand the secretary bird, you must understand the tactical software it uses to engage its prey. It doesn't just attack, it dances. It utilizes its massive wings, spanning over 7 feet, not for flight, but as distraction shields. As we peel back the layers of this elegant executioner, we find a predator that has mastered the art of the feint, the dodge, and the finishing blow. The real terror of the secretary bird begins not when it sees its prey, but when it decides to engage. The dance of death is about to begin, and in this arena, there are no survivors, only the cold, calculated precision of a strike that occurs faster than the human eye can process. The centerpiece of this biological weapon is a kick, a ballistic event that occurs with such violent velocity that it rivals the mechanical reset of a high-speed firing piston. While most predators rely on the slow grind of jaw pressure or the constriction of muscle, this avian assassin operates on the principle of kinetic shock. When it engages a target, it delivers a vertical stomp that generates a force of over 195 newtons. To put this in perspective, the bird delivers a blow 5 times its own body weight in a fraction of a second. This strike is so explosive that it is completed in roughly 15 milliseconds. For context, the human eye takes about 100 to 150 milliseconds to blink. This bird is literally 10 times faster than your own reflexes. The physics of this strike are a masterclass in structural engineering. The bird utilizes the extreme length of its legs to create a massive lever arm, concentrating the entirety of its muscular energy into the hardened, scale-covered surface of its feet. It does not push its prey, it shatters it. By the time a cobra or viper senses a shadow of the bird, its skull has already been pulverized by the impact. This speed is a biological necessity. When hunting creatures whose venom can kill in minutes, there is no room for prolonged struggle. The fight must be ended before the victim's nervous system can even register the threat. It is a surgical execution performed with the force of a falling hammer. To facilitate this level of violence, the predator has evolved a unique visual acquisition system. Its eyes are massive, protected by long, thick eyelashes that act as debris shields during the dust-filled chaos of a struggle. These eyes are precision-tuned to detect the subtlest S-curve movement in the dense grass of the Veldt. Once a target is locked, the bird enters its combat stance. It spreads its massive 7-foot wings wide, creating a flickering, shifting wall of feathers. This serves 2 tactical purposes. It provides a gyroscopic balance during high-velocity kicks, and it creates a false target. A snake, blinded by instinct, will often strike at the harmless wing feathers, hitting nothing but air, while the lethal leg descends from above to deliver the finishing blow. This is the ultimate expression of the ninja archetype in nature. It is a fighter that uses its opponent's own defensive instincts against them. It baits a strike, calculates the distance with mathematical certainty, and counters with a blow that exits the exchange before it has even truly begun. But the African savannah is a vast, unforgiving landscape where a single successful kill is not enough to guarantee long-term survival. To dominate this environment, the predator must be more than just a high-speed striker. It must be a master of the environment itself. It must learn to manipulate the very forces of nature, even the most destructive ones, to its advantage, proving that its tactical intelligence is just as dangerous as its physical power. The mastery of the strike is only the beginning of its dominance. To see how this creature truly controls its kingdom, one must look at how it interacts with the most terrifying force on the plains, the wall of advancing fire. While every other living thing runs in terror, this assassin moves toward the smoke, waiting for the chaos to serve up its next victim. The African savannah is a land defined by the extreme cycle of life and destruction, and at the heart of this cycle is the element of fire. Massive bushfires frequently sweep across the plains, turning the tall, golden grass into a charred, suffocating wasteland. For almost every animal, from the smallest rodent to the largest antelope, the smell of smoke is a signal of impending death. But as a wall of flames advances, a tall, elegant figure can be seen moving toward the heat rather than away from it. This is a strategist of the flame. The bird walks just yards away from the crackling inferno, acting as a frontline opportunist. It understands a fundamental tactical truth. Fire is the ultimate flush-out tool. As the heat and smoke penetrate the deep burrows and thickets, thousands of insects, lizards, and venomous snakes are forced into a blind, panic flight. They are too focused on the fire to notice the sentinel waiting in the haze. With cold, calculated efficiency, the bird simply shadows a fire line, picking off the survivors one by one. It has turned a natural disaster into a buffet of the damned, utilizing the destructive power of the earth to do the hard work of hunting for it. This behavior demonstrates an advanced level of environmental intelligence, showing a predator that doesn't just react to its surroundings but actively exploits them to maximize its caloric intake with minimal effort. This tactical mastery extends to how the predator manages its vast, sprawling territory. A single pair may control an area of up to 50 square kilometers, and they do not patrol it passively. They are active flushers. They use their powerful, piston-like legs to stomp on thick tufts of grass and hollow logs, creating localized vibrations that mimic the sound of an approaching predator or the crackle of fire. When the hidden prey bolts in fear, the execution is already in position. This is a proactive, high-stamina hunting style that requires a deep understanding of animal psychology and terrain. The bird is essentially managing the landscape, forcing the ecosystem to reveal its secrets through a series of calculated physical provocations. But even the most elite strategist needs a secure base of operations to protect its legacy. Despite being a master of the terrestrial world, the bird returns to its raptor roots when it comes to architecture. It constructs massive, flat platforms in the crowns of thorny acacia trees, some spanning over 8 feet in width. These are not just nests, they are elevated command centers. Built from a mixture of sticks, sod, and animal dung, these structures become incredibly heavy and stable over years of use. From this height, the bird has a 360-degree tactical view of its kingdom, allowing it to spot potential threats or food sources miles away. This dual-domain mastery creates a unique paradox. The bird sleeps in the sky to avoid the nocturnal reach of leopards and hyenas, but it rules the earth during the day. It possesses the safety of the eagle and the mobility of the infantry. However, maintaining such a massive territory and protecting a high-altitude fortress is an impossible task for a solitary hunter. To ensure the survival of its bloodline in such a brutal environment, the strategist must enter into a sophisticated biological contract. This partnership is one of the most stable and disciplined in the avian world, where two assassins merge their lives to form a single, unstoppable unit of territorial defense. In the harsh, competitive landscape of the Veldt, family is treated as a high-stakes military operation. This predator relies on a radical social structure known as simultaneous monogamy, forming bonds that are built on tactical necessity rather than simple instinct. Finding a mate in the sprawling 50-kilometer expanse of the savannah is a rare event, so when a pair does eventually meet, they form a lifelong contract. They understand that controlling such a massive territory and maintaining an 8-foot aerial fortress requires 2 sets of eyes and 2 sets of lethal legs. They hunt in tandem, walking in a parallel formation to pinch the landscape between them. If a target escapes the strike of one, it invariably mirrors right into the path of the other, creating a no-exit zone. This 2-unit strike team operates with synchronized precision, but the true test of their genetic contract begins with the arrival of the next generation. The reproductive cycle is a grueling marathon of endurance. For nearly 50 days, the parents take turns in a relentless relay race, guarding the nest against opportunistic raiders while the other patrols the plains for high-protein kills. When the chicks finally hatch, they are the antithesis of the parents. They are vulnerable, covered in soft white down, and possess flexible limbs. The very structures that will one day generate 195 newtons of force are currently their greatest liability. The growth of these young assassins is a race against the clock of the savannah. They must develop the extreme bone density required to withstand the violent impact of their own future hunting style. If the legs do not harden with mathematical perfection, the bird is groundless. It will never be able to hunt the serpent of the plains, and it will be called by the environment. The parents feed them a specialized diet of regurgitated reptiles, essentially building the hunter from the inside out using the calcium of their enemies. However, there's a darker, more cold-blooded reality within the nest. If resources become scarce, the larger, stronger chick will often outcompete its sibling in a display of siblicide, ensuring that only the most efficient genes survive to carry on the legacy. By the time these young predators are ready to leave the safety of the acacia heights, they have already practiced their stomp on every stick and insect within reach. They are born with a hard-coded instinct to strike. As they take their first steps onto the sun-baked soil, they are no longer protected. They are the new sentinels of the grass. But the world they are inheriting is no longer the pristine wilderness of their ancestors. They are stepping into a landscape that is being reshaped by a force more powerful than fire or venom. The ninja of the Veldt is entering its final and most difficult evolution, a struggle to survive in a world where the grass is disappearing and new, artificial borders are rising to challenge its reign. The transition from the ancient wild to the modern fringe is the ultimate test for the strategist. To see how this prehistoric relic is managing to survive the encroachment of the concrete, we must look at the bird's final adaptation. Its emergence as a phantom of the fringe, a creature that has learned to hide in plain sight among the very humans who are changing its world. The secretary bird has survived for millions of years by being the extreme outlier of the avian world, a creature that abandoned the safety of the clouds to dominate the dangers of the earth. It has outlasted prehistoric extinctions, navigated the most brutal droughts, and mastered the deadliest serpents on the continent. But today, the ninja of the Veldt faces a silent, more abstract enemy, the encroachment of the concrete. As the African savannah is carved into fragments by high-speed roads, industrial farms, and endless fences, the bird's vast patrol routes are being severed. For a predator that spends 90% of its life on foot, a simple wire fence is not just a border. It is a tactical barrier that can trap, injure, or isolate a hunting pair from their vital resources. Yet, true to its legacy as a master strategist, the bird is showing signs of a remarkable urban adaptation. In many regions, they have begun to treat the human-altered landscape as a new kind of hunting ground. They have been observed patrolling the edges of commercial agricultural fields, utilizing their human disturbance much like they used the ancient fire lines. As tractors and harvesters churn through the earth, flushing out displaced rodents and insects, the secretary bird follows in the wake of the machinery. It has turned our industrial progress into a new type of buffet, proving that its prehistoric brain is capable of rapid, modern calibration. They are becoming the phantoms of the fringe, surviving in the delicate spaces where the wild meets the artificial. Ecologists now view this bird as more than just a predator. It is a biological indicator of planetary health. Their presence acts as a security audit for the entire savanna ecosystem. Because they sit at the top of the terrestrial food chain, their health reflects the stability of everything beneath them, the reptiles, the insects, and the soil itself. If the executioner is thriving, the clockwork of the Veldt is in balance. They are the chief regulators, preventing snake and rodent populations from exploding into chaos. Without that 15 millisecond kick, the entire structural integrity of the African plains would begin to dissolve. The secretary bird remains a profound reminder that there is no single correct way to evolve. It is a creature that found its power in the unconventional, a bird that traded its wings for the most lethal legs in nature. It is a masterclass in biomechanics, a strategist of the inferno, and a silent guardian of the ancient grass. As long as there is open ground and a serpent in the shadows, the secretary bird will be there, walking, watching, and waiting to deliver the strike that defines the narrow edge of life and death. You are looking at a living relic that has conquered time, physics, and evolution, a phantom that will continue to patrol the earth long after the fires have gone cold. This marks the conclusion of our deep dive into the Savannah executioner. If this tactical breakdown of nature's most elegant assassin sparked your curiosity, be sure to leave a comment with your thoughts and follow for more cinematic explorations into the secret, high-tech lives of Earth's most incredible creatures.